This week on A7. Episode 9. When your life feels stuck. There comes a moment in every human life when nothing moves. Not forward, not backward, just still. When you believe something, it becomes your truth. People get stuck in all kinds of ways. They get stuck in the mind, they get stuck in their emotions, they get spiritually stuck in their bodies. It feels like the universe has gone quiet, like your momentum evaporated, like the path you were walking suddenly disappeared under your feet. But what if this isn't failure? What if this isn't punishment? What if this is the curriculum? In episode 9 of the Human Curriculum, we explore the sacred pause, the part of your evolution where life stops pushing you so you can finally hear yourself. This is the moment when old patterns lose their power, but the new ones haven't formed yet. The moment where your soul is quietly asking, are you ready to choose differently? Feeling stuck isn't a dead end. It's an initiation, a threshold, a doorway disguised as a wall. And on the other side of that stillness is the version of you who knows to choose from sovereignty instead of survival. Feeling trapped often stems from reaching an emotional threshold due to chronic stress, lack of autonomy, or the monotonous routines leaving you feeling hopeless or stuck. It arises from a conflict between a desire for freedom and a need for safety, often fueled by fear, negative self-beliefs, or unfulfilling life choices. Now let's walk through the threshold together, and let's join the team for another fascinating discussion on this topic. All right, welcome everyone to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. It's good to have you all here. Come on everyone, come on in, get your snack, get your drink. Let's get this on. But the first thing I wanted to talk about real quick is, I don't know if people know this, but my sister...
Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Brian? Brian, you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Lori's
Lori froze up.
She's had some network issues lately, but I don't know the first thing she wanted to do. I'll just say hello and greetings to everyone that could join us tonight. I see Lucky Stone. He's going to be listening in. Hi, Lucky. Welcome. I hope you have a terrific weekend. Thanks for being here, brother. And we have, I saw Chloe in there. Good to see you. We miss you too, Chloe. We don't get to see you a lot anymore. We were just talking about a bunch of wonderful crystals, and some of them were the ones that you procured for me. So they were terrific. I use them all the time in my work. Scotty boy, it's good to see you. Loved and missed you too. And Sophia would like to be here with us tonight. She's had a very rough day and she may or may not be able to join in, but we wish her well. And if there's anything ailing her, we hope she feels better soon. So that's it for now. Let's see. We have someone, MKEJRIWALL062. I don't know how to pronounce it, but welcome. We're glad you could make it in. Let's see. So Brian, how have you been doing this week? Anything new? Did you plant your garden? You can take yourself off mute.
That is still in progress. So I'm moving the garden back from the top of the hill back down to the barn. So I've had to take out trees and.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow I'm taking down fence, pull the post up, and get ready to move everything. I'll be ready by May 1st. That's usually when they say don't plant till after Mother's Day, but
yeah,
I think I'll be able to plant before then.
Yeah, I was like telling you before the show, I'm back to planting now. I don't have a greenhouse in this place, but I'm off to a good start with plantlings. I'm growing everything from seed. So I've got 21 tomato plants and 17 pepper plants already, bunch of bunching onions, and I'm trying to grow some Spanish onion, all from seed. And I got my lamps, for indoors. I can't put them outdoors yet; they're not ready. But they do take a lot of care and handling when you're starting from seed like that and transplanting. I've
Mm,
moved to phase two. They're in their second level pot size now. So, but it's intermittent weather. It gets hot and then it gets cold, or it gets really warm, then it gets rainy. So windy.
same.
Living here is like living in the windy city of Chicago. I'm here to tell you, it's like there's a lot of wind in this valley here by the Sierras, and some things aren't strong enough to withstand the wind. You got to get them strong inside first, and then move them outdoors. You know. But I'm not doing in-ground planting. I'm doing above ground with containers.
Nice.
Greetings, Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Well, Lori was going to start off with something. I'm going to go to, she's got some quotes that are quite fascinating. And if you had a chance to see the video, please go watch it. It's very short, and then catch up with us, because she really opened the door on this topic. And we've both been motivated by spirit to discuss it on a deeper level than we ever have before. But let me read you a couple of her notes, and when she's able to come back in, she'll come. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, by Mandy Hale. Hi, Lori. She's trying to come back in, and I think she's still working with it. Fear. Fear is the glue that keeps you stuck. Faith is the solvent that sets you free. Shannon Adler. You are not lost. You are simply in transition. By Marissa Donnelly. When you feel you are being most unfairly tested, you are being prepared for great achievement. Unknown author. Being stuck is like standing on a cliff. Can't move forward, can't move back. So anyway, she picked these quotes because they really are pertinent to this evening's conversation. And she has four questions that she's going to be asking the panel tonight to address when she's able to join us. And that very first question, very first go around, do you know why we feel stuck? So Brian, do you ever feel stuck sometimes? Now that could be in a relationship or a career, your other extracurricular activities, your job, your volunteer activities, or your spiritual growth and development. That's a real stickler for some people.
As of right now, no, I'm really not stuck. But yeah, there have been periods of time in my life where things got real stagnant. It was almost like the same routine day after day after day after day.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know what's really creating that, whether it's your subconscious telling you there's something that you're not paying attention to, so we're going to leave you at this point until you figure out and pay attention to what we're trying to show you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it could be that, you're just unknowingly taking a break from things.
No, could be, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Lori, can you hear us and everything okay? She's still having she came back for momentarily, so she's still adjusting. I tell you, I know when I can't say for others, do I know why we feel stuck? Because it's such an interesting situation for many. And for me, I can address when I know why I feel stuck. And I think it's an early childhood pattern. There's this guy that calls it the copycat phase, because you grow up learning how to walk, learning how to talk, learning how to run, and you see it from other people. You see it from adults, and you learn from other people certain behaviors. And so because you have that early on in your early pattern of development, you're trying to live up to everyone else's expectations. You're trying to perform at a level where you think you'll be accepted and you'll fit in. So when you're an adolescent and you're quite young, you're developing a need to please others instead of yourself, because things will be taken away from you if you don't perform correctly. You know, parents think they're molding you and shaping you in their image. And so for me, I had a lot of that going on where you don't make decisions. You do as I say. You live in this house, you follow my rules. You know, you'll believe in the religion I want you to believe in. You'll go to the kind of schools we want you to go to. So you're molded and shaped, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And so it becomes imprinted early on. So what happens is you develop no autonomy of your own. You know, you don't know how to stand up for yourself because you're not encouraged to. And you develop, you don't have a sense of individuality, mostly because you're not allowed to. You have to conform to the school and their rules at school, the teachers, the guidance counselors, your parents, your other close relatives. And then as you get older, it just becomes easier to just do it their way and not experiment or do anything. You don't have that independence. And so you can't, so you're living vicariously through others. That's what you're doing until you hit your teens or 20s. And then you're a little bit, or maybe nowadays even earlier, when you get into an experimental stage. And during that experimental stage, you're trying to define yourself. What you start asserting your own, you know, you'll see teenagers talking back to their parents. You'll see them fighting with their teachers or telling the guidance counselors to go pound sand. You know, they're asserting their own independence. And until you get to that point, you're stuck in a cycle of just living vicariously through others and living to please others. So I think that's an early pattern that you develop early on until you get through that experimental stage when you're in your teens and 20s, where you're doing everything but what they're telling you to do. But you're doing it behind closed doors where you don't necessarily know everything that you're up to because you want to assert your freedom and start learning your limits. And until you learn your limitations of what it is you like and don't like, how do you define yourself? You're developing your own values at that point, but you don't have them younger when you're younger. So some people never grow out of those two phases and they're stuck. The early patterns, and they're trapped in their adolescence. They're still taking pure pleasure in all kinds of things. And they're overindulging, but they never do develop a sense of self because they're afraid to see their real selves. They're afraid to admit they have limitations. Oh my God, I don't have any limitations. Look, the sky's the limit. I can go 90 miles an hour, drink a case of beer, and not wrap my car around a tree. It'll never happen to me. And until they get a wake-up call, they don't develop their own sense, you know? So that's why I think that's why we get stuck early on. We're stuck in those two phases of development and never get out of them. Lori, you're moving, so I think you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated every time I sign on. Now I got this major problem. I had to restart everything. So I'm not quite sure where you're at, if you're using my notes or
I'm using your notes.
on.
We're on number 1. Brian and I just explained why we feel stuck, and I read your quotes. So I said you can go back and comment on any of the quotes that you want.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So hey, what if consciously we know we're stuck in a rut, but subconsciously you feel comfortable in that rut, and that's why you can't escape that rut, because subconsciously you feel comfortable in it, where consciously you're like, man, why am I in this rut? Why can't I get out? But subconsciously
because
it's telling your body you feel comfortable.
You're giving yourself permission, Brian. You're giving yourself permission to feel comfortable in your inability to get out of being stuck.
It's a comfort level.
Reflection. Yeah,
It's
go
a
ahead, Lori.
comfort level. Yeah. So,
Let's let Lori catch up.
yeah, I'm trying to get it together here. Um, so there are many reasons why we get stuck. We get stuck in relationships. We get stuck in jobs. We get stuck in all types of different situations. And sometimes that feels familiar and you know what to expect. It's that moment when you don't know what to expect. And
Mhm.
how do you get out of that rut, or how do you get out of that stuck moment? And that isn't always easy. And recognizing that you're in a moment where you are stuck, that's something you really need to pay attention to and think about it. Call it out in your mind, and in your current situation. Wow, I'm feeling stuck. And just look at it. And why am I feeling, ask these questions. Why am I feeling stuck? There are so many reasons why you don't feel like you can move forward on something. But you're right, Brian, it is subconscious. And that's because the subconscious mind, the ego mind, is telling you that you feel safe in that rut, and that
Mm,
getting out of that rut, you're not going to feel safe anymore. But that's the whole purpose of getting out of the rut and out of the routine, is to change it up and to shift that energy and move it in a way that you're not feeling that way anymore.
Mhm.
And it's like even feeling boredom. When you're bored, that's a form of being stuck. How do you
mhm.
get out of that? Find something that brings you joy. Do something different. Find new ways to get out of the rut. Pull yourself
Mhm.
out. Know it, name it, feel it, and then let it go. Okay, I
Yep.
was in a rut. I feel it. I'm gonna let that go now. Now I'm gonna find something that brings me joy, and that oftentimes will pull us out of
Mhm.
the rut. Did you say hello to everybody in chat, Teresa?
Yes, I did. We have a few
Okay.
people with us,
Hi,
and
Steve. Good to see you.
someone named Felix who's going
Scotty
by
boy.
Vanessa. Just so you know, there's a Vanessa in there, and it's really Felix.
Hi,
Hi, Felix.
Felix. Hi,
Yeah,
Felix. Good to have you with us.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So,
No, we were just. I was just explaining, Scotty boy. You don't have to agree. Everybody has a different perception. That's
oh,
what.
sure.
That's why I
Yeah.
can't share what other people might be going through. I can only share my experience, and that was mine. I had an early childhood pattern where I wasn't allowed to express myself, and I had to follow the rules. And every time I tried to assert my independence, I would get slapped back down. I went to parochial school. The nuns did it, the priests did it, the guidance counselors. And then as I came out of that early childhood thing of just being the copycat and copying what everybody else was doing around me to fit in, then be accepted and pass their rules, then I started exploring. And it wasn't until I got to that exploration phase where I was able to discern what my own limitations were and start developing and creating my own values. That's how I did it. So I was stuck in a pattern for a very long time. And as an adult, here I am in my 60s, and I'm rediscovering how to live by my own set of rules and my own values, and how to assert my more balanced energy. And I have ascended beyond what I once was. And so now I can stand and hold my own ground and be free to be who I want to be. And that's how I broke away from it, was by admitting my failures and not seeing everything as a failure, but saying,
Mhm.
okay, what did I learn from that? I learned that I'm going to get myself killed if I keep drinking the way I was drinking. I learned that I didn't need to be afraid of flying and have to get drunk every time I got on a plane just to fly to another city. So I broke away from being stuck spiritually and emotionally by learning how to love myself, who I truly am. What are my true natures? What are the things that I care about the most? Who are the kind of people I care about the most? Who do I really want to be attached to? Who I don't? So you learn what you do like, you don't learn what you don't like, but you have to do a lot of admission. And you have to say, that's not working out for me. And if you don't do that, then you'll keep doing that cycle. You'll be stuck in those early patterns and early cycles. That's what I was explaining, Lori, while you were
Mhm.
troubleshooting.
Mary Mansfield has a really good comment.
Hi,
And
Mary.
Mary Mansfield, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Most often, I feel stuck when my plans aren't in alignment with divine timing. I want it now. Spirit says not yet and pushes the pause button. It's a test of patience for me, for sure.
Right
That's
on.
that. It's that pause before things happen, where you're expecting things to change and your expectations aren't being met, and so you
Right.
kind of feel like you're in a kind of a limbonic stage where you're not moving forward, you're not moving backwards, nothing's happening, and that's where that stuckness feels.
Yeah.
But that's part of the process, I believe, and if you didn't know what being stuck was, you wouldn't know what being unstuck is.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so great comment, Mary Mansfield. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So I did a little, I wanted to do just a little survey here, and this is something new that StreamYard's doing. I'm going to try this out, but I have a question for the audience. How often do you feel stuck? And let me put this up. Most of the time, sometimes, or rarely? Maybe put that in the chat. How often do you feel stuck? Most of the time, sometimes, or rarely? Yeah, that's interesting. I thought I'd try that out.
Come back around, see what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me hide that. Let me get back to this. Rarely. Okay, that's great, Chloe. That's awesome. That's awesome. Actually, I've
Yeah.
noticed a huge change with you, Chloe, ever since you quit that job. You got yourself unstuck. You found your passion. You went into doing the crystal thing, and that's been blowing up for you. And your whole energy has shifted because you're being your true authentic self. And not to say that you weren't your authentic self before, but you're stepping into your power now, and you know what you want out of life. And that's really awesome to see and to witness. Scotty
That's
Boy
cool,
says,
Scotty.
I
Yeah.
get stuck a lot. I don't see it as stuck. I see it as a pause. Exactly. It's all about your truth, what you believe is your truth. And that's really all that matters, because you're your own universe. Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's
Thanks
see.
for the compliment, Scotty. I appreciate that.
Mhm. Let's see. Steve Bow says, rarely. Been there, done that. I feel that.
Hey, Steve. Oh, I
Yeah.
used to feel stuck all the time. You know that. All of you know that. What I went through these past 6 years.
Yeah.
And even before that, ever since that bloody accident. But I don't feel that way very often anymore. In fact, almost never. I never feel stuck. You want to know something? I've changed my perspective on stuckiness.
Okay.
I used to think it was a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play the martyr. I went
Yeah.
through that phase too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now I see it as a blessing from the universe, like a nudge.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm feeling stuck about something, what's not right about this situation for me? What's not serving me? Why am I feeling this way? It causes me to question myself, and I only feel it for a brief period of time, but then I'll either talk to you about it, or I'll take it to my higher self, or I'll,
Let me ask you this.
uh,
Why do we hold on to our beliefs? Why do you hold on to it then?
habit. It's habitual.
Mm-hmm.
I've done things where
It's
I'm
a
like,
pattern.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a pattern.
It's a pattern. It's something that you're used to feeling. It's sometimes call it a cycle. It's just a cycle that you go through, and the cycle won't stop or break until you change something in that cycle, that belief system, or the reason why you're feeling that way. It's time to switch it out. Yeah. Being stuck is like a
Feels
warm
better.
blanket and a warm thumb to suck on.
It feels better. It's security.
That sounds funny.
Yep. Are we not taught believe? To believe in Jesus, believe in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, Tooth
Sure.
Fairy.
Yeah, you're taught what to believe.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I heard you talking, Teresa, about your childhood and how you were brought up and you weren't allowed to have your own opinions and things like that. Well, I'm the complete opposite, because I am an extremely individual, very I'm out of the box. I'm not like most people. I
Mhm.
do my own thing and I pride
Yeah.
myself on that. And so I was always the one that was out in front, kind of blazing the way. And if I felt stuck, it used to make me mad. And I would just do everything I could to get unstuck. And when I was working with my guide and we were talking about it, the first thing he tells me is you're in a cycle.
Yeah.
And as soon as I understood what the cycle was, it allowed me to see things in a completely different manner. So I didn't believe that about myself anymore. But you're right. You're talking 60 plus years of being a certain way and thinking a certain way, and it becomes ingrained in you. And so change can be difficult, especially when you get older. But
Yeah.
it's just finding the strength to,
Yeah.
to switch it up.
Yeah.
Lori, can I pause for just a second? There's some folks having some, Steve Bow is with us. For those of you who don't see his comments, check your setting at the top where it says show comments. It'll say most relevant or all. Make sure you have all selected, and then maybe you'll see Steve. And if you're seeing people in boxes and you're cut off, it's because the show link you're using is probably not for the device that you're using. If you're using a computer, it's a different link. There's 2 links out there for this program. They're not different channels, Chloe. Nobody's going into, this is not playing on the Pure Love channel anymore. It's just Andromeda, but there's 2 formats. So you just have to cut out of this one and click on the other one, and you'll be right back here with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope that helps.
StreamYard has 2 versions now. So it's one is made for the cell phone, one is made for tablet, PCs, TVs, that kind of thing. Sorry that confuses everyone. It's just an option. And we find that we get more numbers if we do it this way. And so it just reaches more people. And that's why we do it. So
Right.
just go to the A7 channel, look for the live feed, and then you'll see the 2 links. And you'll see one is for your phone and one is for the other. Really important. Sorry about that if that is confusing, because it was confusing in the very beginning as well. Yeah. Brian, you were going to make a comment, and I wanted to hear that.
So if you're really feeling stuck, and like I seen a comment earlier, the person said most of the time I feel stuck. I've said this before about a lot of things. It's good to go into meditation, step out, and be an observer of the situation and try to figure out why this is not what's causing or why I'm stuck, but basically what's causing me to be stuck. What in my mindset is causing me to be stuck. I said it many times about a lot of things. It's important to step back sometimes and just be an observer of the situation, what's going on, and how did I get here? How did it start? How does it keep continuing? Then once you can figure all that out, it's time. How can I resolve this?
Yeah, and that goes into who is responsible for our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, exactly. And then you start looking at where do those thoughts stem from? Where do they come from? Because that's your belief system. That's what you're going to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like concrete stone. It's hard to chip away at that and realize what's happening. But I liked Mary Mansfield's comment.
Yeah, I did too.
That was really good. Sometimes being stuck can be an opportunity to turn your waiting room into a classroom, leaving you better prepared for what may come next. I completely, totally agree with you. It's just a pause. It's just like when you are watching a show and something comes up and you got to hit the pause button for a moment. You'll come back to it. It's okay. You're going to take care of something else and you'll come back to it. And it's the same thing in our lives that, feeling stuck is just a moment in time. It doesn't define you, doesn't define what you're doing or what's happening. It's just getting you to notice that, you need to look at that. Right, Brian?
Yes, ma'am. Looks like Sophia just jumped in.
Oh, hi, Sophia. What's up with you too? What up?
Let's bring her on. She's in. No, she jumped into chat.
She's in chat. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in chat.
Yeah.
Greetings,
Sophia had a rough day.
Yep.
Aw. Yep. Here we go. Let me put that up there. There's her face. Hi, Sophia. Good to see you. Hope you're recouping. Get some rest. This gal burns the candle at both ends.
That
Let me
she
tell you,
does.
she is not one that is stuck. She's constantly, her wheels are spinning all the time in constant momentum. She's got a lot going on, but
She's chilling
she's got
today.
work to do.
Yeah.
Work to do. But thanks for popping in there, Soph. Love you, sister.
Love you, sweetie.
Uh-huh.
Let's
So,
see.
and here's another question. Why do we let others influence us so much? Why are we so influenced by others? What do you think, Teresa?
I think I partially answered that already.
Well, answer it again.
All right, I will. It's that need that we all have to feel like we belong.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
we fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And
To be accepted.
And so many of us are not taught to develop individually. We're taught to follow the cattle,
Yeah.
And
just step in line.
We got used to that being suppressed, that we don't know how sometimes. We just don't know how to not live through others' expectations of us. I wanted to join the Coast Guard. There were so many things I wanted to do that I was so much opposition. And I finally didn't get around to feeling like I was actually exerting my own self until I got into my 20s, and I got into the university and started taking kind of courses I wanted, and learning to do things that I really wanted to do, including theater and a few other things. And so I just think a lot of us are malleable. We allow ourselves and our own and other people to influence our emotions.
Yeah. And when life feels unfulfilling is another reason why we feel stuck, because we're not fulfilling.
And what do? We blame others. Well, it's your fault that I did this, or I chose this because you said blah, blah. So now you blame shift while you're not doing well on the job, or while you're not doing well in a relationship. You blame it on the other person in the relationship. Why? Because that's how we got through life until that point. So,
and who's responsible for your experience in life? Who is ultimately responsible?
Me.
Right.
Now, but like I said, it's like brainwashing. You can't expect a child to exert itself if it's being suppressed. At some point, the child has to grow up and say, I've arrived, I'm an adult now, and I can make my own choices. But some people never get to that point. They're trapped. They allow themselves to be trapped. That's why we're having this discussion tonight, is to start looking out for are you really doing the things that make you feel like you're following your passions? What do you really care about? What kind of people do you really care about? What kind of activities do you really care about? Embrace those and are you willing? Ask yourself, am I willing to let go of being this kind of person, of doing this profession because my parents expected me to be a dentist? My parents expected me to be a lawyer. My parents wanted me to help run the family business, and I can't stand it. But hey, I got to put meat on the table. Well, can't I? Oh, I love to create things. I like to build furniture. Why can't I build furniture and sell the furniture that I build? Are you willing to take the risks to be someone other than who you are right now? Are you willing to take the risk to follow your heart and not a pattern, or not something that somebody else has defined you with? And that's the question that you ask yourself, and then you won't be stuck anymore, because at least you'll be doing something that makes you feel like you have a goal or a purpose or a sense of belonging to yourself, right?
And also routines. Routines can make you feel really in a rut. And think about it, when you break your routine, like let's just say, for example, you've been working all year round and you take a quick vacation, just that getting away for that short time actually changes the way you see everything. When you come back, everything seems a little bit different, and that's because the routine has changed. And so changing our routines is a really good way to get unstuck. Mary Mansell says, sometimes as adults, we have to reparent ourselves to find the acceptance and validation we didn't get when we were young. Absolutely. You have to take care of your own inner child. I'm doing a lot of work with my dream work right now, and I'm dealing with some things that has happened to me as a child. And you're right, Mary. You're absolutely right. And it's interesting you made that comment. Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Jojo, good to see you. Johan.
I'll never forget that. Brian Barnett used to say that all the time.
Scotty, my parents were happy I didn't go to prison. I proved them wrong. See, there you go.
Hey, there you go. Talk about routine in prison. You talk about being stuck. That would be a hell in and of itself. Go ahead, Teresa.
I started to touch on earlier when you were having some technical issues before you came on. I was starting to touch on something where in our adolescence, in our 20s and 30s, we're exploring and we're trying new things and different things. And that's really good for your growth because you find your pleasure zones, things that it could be a certain kind of, you could be experimenting with drugs, or you could be drinking, or you could be having wild, crazy sex, or you could be going to all kinds of parties and partying hardy and
shifting your focus,
and so you're learning how to, but you get so used to pleasing yourself just for the pleasure and the euphoria that it brings you, and then eventually it brings you nowhere, and you're wondering, why are you so bored? Especially if it's a relationship and it's strictly based on physicality and there's no meat to the relationship, and or you saw a reflection in that person that turned you on and made you feel whole, but over time it becomes mundane because it's on a surface level. It's not a deep love or respect. I've had that situation. So that's just an extreme example, but fortunately, I'm sharing it for a reason, because there's so many people. Or you're in a job where you do really well and you get great performance reviews and you like the accolades, you like the plaques on the wall and the rewards on your desk, and you can hold your head up high and put it on your resume, and you can pat yourself on the back and tell your family how successful you are. But the whole time you're doing it, you actually hate what you do. Or you like it just to get those accolades, but you don't love it. And so you allow yourself to stay in a rut and feel stuck. And when all these things come together, the type of people you're hanging out with, the kind of things that you're spending in your mindfulness activities outside of that situation, outside of that, really, they come up dead, cold, empty, not meaningful, not purposeful. And you haven't yet developed your own sense of values. You're living in the pleasure, but you're realizing pretty soon you got to do something, or you start having anxiety and you develop all kinds of psychological conditions.
The universe will put things in your path to purposely make you make the changes you need to do. At a certain point, you're not going to have any say in what happens, because it's just going to happen. And we've all done that. A situation has fallen apart. It just crumbles away. It just fades into dust.
Yeah.
And before you know it, your whole situation has changed.
Yeah.
And so that's the universe's way of going, you're not meant to be here anymore. You're meant to be here. And we're going to help you get there, because you can't stay where you're at, because that's being stuck. You're going to need a little nudge from the universe, and they're going to go, okay, we need you over here now. And then you got to make peace with that. And then you got to switch it from living in the past. Oh man, I had this was going on in my life. Now that's over. And, it takes a lot to make peace with that within yourself and with others. And you're becoming somebody new. You're not the same person you used to be. And people don't see you changing. They see the old patterns, the old ways you were, a sister, a daughter, a partner, whatever, all that stuff. people just get locked in that cycle. And it's simply put, a cycle.
Do you do you think that maybe some of these ruts that we get stuck in uh, keep popping up from past lives because we didn't really learn how to get out of that rut in that lifetime? So you have to reoccur that
It can
same
be
rut.
karmic.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yes. And you have an
I'm
opportunity.
not saying all of them are, but
right. But
could be
there
some.
are circumstances and times that, yes, I believe that's true. And that's karmic. And so you have to deal with the karmic aspect of it as well. And if you don't, it's going to keep popping up for you.
Yeah.
It's like having a slow leak in a tire.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fix
Keep
that
airing
leak.
it up.
You're going to air it up. And
Yep.
then pretty soon you can't air it up anymore. It's gonna
That's right.
Exactly.
I swear, I think sometimes, and please don't think I'm judged, but it's just an impression I get. It's an intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly have a couple close people that I can relate to with this. I get the sense sometimes that people are just freaking delusional. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how many times do you have to fall flat on your face with the same mistake over and over and over and still think you have no limits? Is it narcissism? Is it an inability to admit that you're making mistakes? You can never be wrong. Therefore, I'm just going to keep on spending money the way I do. I'm going to keep on having car accidents. I'm going to keep on paying for extra things that I don't need to pay for.
Some of us need a hard lesson. It's
Ego.
like banging your head against the wall. Pretty soon you're going to knock yourself out, or you're going to start bleeding, or you're going to lose consciousness. Stop doing it. Stop it.
They're just delusional, man. You know, and it's like, you obviously aren't comfortable. You obviously aren't happy. You're always bitching, moaning, groaning, and complaining. You're working oddball hours. You're working 2 and 3 jobs. Why? Why are you writing yourself a permission slip to keep being miserable?
Maybe that's the purpose. Maybe it's to feel it. Maybe it's because they need to keep feeling that and keep continuing that path to really make a statement. And it is a comfort level. Okay. Sometimes the bad stuff is easier to stay in it because it is comfortable. Change is really difficult, you guys. This isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
Change is hard and necessary. And the sooner you make peace with change, the sooner you can move forward.
Yeah. I lived under the delusion that I was being a good Christian woman. Oh, I can't stand that label these days. That I was being a selfless, serving, wonderful, caring, kind, loving sister, daughter. And the whole time I was writing myself permission slip to keep on doing the same thing over and over and over. Yet when it came to my career, if something didn't go right or feel right, I could change it. I could become anything I wanted to be. I could transform my career with no problem. But my personal life and the situation that I was in, I wasn't transforming it. It was getting worse and worse and worse. Until I admitted I wasn't loving myself enough to care enough about myself to do what I wanted to do to please myself for a change. And until I stepped into that saying, I'm going nowhere fast on this ship is sinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to do the same thing with myself as I did with my customers and my career. Treat myself with respect and courtesy, gratitude for the lessons learned, more appreciation for what I had that I thought I didn't have, and what I thought I did have wasn't enough.
No gratitude for what you had.
Yeah.
And that will put you in a rut too.
Yeah. And
that's why gratitude is so important.
Anxiety, dependence, health issues, psychological issues, you name it, everything comes off of that until you find the connection back to your own heart.
Yep. And letting go of things is difficult for people. Just like people who hang on to things and they hoard things. It's the same thing with mental thoughts and and beliefs that you're holding on to. It's the same thing. You got to clean out that closet in the brain and get rid of those old thoughts and patterns and ideas that don't serve you anymore. That's the part that is the true work. And that's the shadow work when you're going through ascension, is really learning what's important and what isn't. And, being your own parent, as Mary Mansfield said, that's very true. Parent yourself, treat yourself like that little kid that you are, because that part of you will always be there. And you have to make peace with that as well. And that's the difficult work. But always looking at other people in a sense that they're responsible for your happiness is really not a viable solution for your situation, because ultimately you are the one that is responsible for yourself, and no one else can do that for you. And relationships will end, jobs will end, you'll move on to other things. That's part of this whole process of being human and the soul's experience in the human form. And you're just learning to remember who you really are. A divine being of love and light. You are truth and you are love. And that is the truth of who you are. And anything that you put in there that doesn't have that in it is because you need to experience it for whatever that reason. And that's okay. You can do that for eternity. We're divine beings. We never die.
Yeah.
We just change form. So you can do it forever, all you want. And you can have as much of that as you want. Or you can just make a simple decision and a shift and say, hey, I'm done with that. I don't need to do this anymore. And I'm going to make some changes and have the courage and the wherewithal to do it.
Folly Starlight has joined us. Hi, Jazzy. She's saying here, autopilot is dangerous. Life just happens to me versus life happens for me.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of expectations, having faith that you are capable and are worth so much more. Right on.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was just saying.
Responsible equals responding to life in a healthy way. Yeah, she's right in sync with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy on YouTube calls that Peter Pan syndrome, Jazz. He calls it Peter Pan syndrome. He's eternal adolescence, always discovering yourself, but doomed to find nothing.
Yeah. Here's some good advice. Mary Mansfield says, an old mentor gave me some good advice for getting unstuck. Get out of bed in a different way every day for a full week. It may feel silly, but it does work to shift your energy and break routines. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Change your routines. Yep. Yep. Shift it, move it, do something different, drive a different way home, stop at a restaurant, go to a restaurant you've never been to before. I like to do that a lot. I don't like to go the same old places. I like to just look up, who's got good reviews? What kind of food do I want? And I'm going to try a new place. And we go in, we have a great time, and it shifts the whole energy. And you've done that with me a couple times, Teresa. I'm like, let's go but we're not going the same old place. Let's go somewhere new.
Somewhere new.
Yeah,
always trying something different and something new.
Yeah.
Because that way you don't get in a rut. You don't get into boredom. You don't get into that routine where you take things for granted because it's become so routine. Keep it exciting. Keep it exciting.
Says, go off script. I like that. Write your own dang script. Write it in the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Do something you don't normally do and switch it up. And it makes a big difference.
Here's what we were raised on, or at least I was. And younger folks aren't going to relate to this, but my parents listened to Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. It's like everything you do is you got to be you did it my way. Well, that's a good attitude up to a point. But when it gets to a point where you don't want to try anything different and you expect everybody else to follow your lead and you expect them not to be changing, true partnership and relationship, even if it's with a boss or a coworker, a friend, a good friend or a lover or a sibling, is expect them to change. That's the only
Everyone has their own perspective. Woohoo. Yep. Wakey, wakey. Let it be known. Not everybody thinks the way you do.
That's right. So if somebody wants to try something different and fun, I'm for it. I used to be like No, that's just not the way I do things. And I've gotten that way about working with contractors too.
Oh, dear Lord.
I had a door put in this yesterday, a sliding door and a window in my kitchen.
I've experienced that with you. Yes.
And the first thing I said a few days ago is, well, I hope they don't do this thing. And that would be wrong. And they shouldn't fuck with that. And they shouldn't do this. And I'm going to be there to make sure. And it was like, stop. And it's like, Lori's like, stop. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Insanity.
I know. Because I used to be that way. I used to be the project manager. And I had an construction management company. So it's like,
I'm like, isn't that expectations? You're putting out expectations. Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's learned behavior.
It's true.
And even though I've been through one heck of a transformation spiritually, there's little remnants of it. And I think that's why I wasn't sleeping. I was overexcited about what's taking place, but I wasn't sleeping full sleep cycle.
Ooh, and that changed your whole routine.
And you said, what are you holding on to? And I said, I'm not holding on to anything anymore. I don't know where you're coming from, but I'm cool. And you're like, okay. That's what it was. So, and I had a great time with these guys yesterday. I let them, you know what? I hung out back because I couldn't hang out on the porch. They were using it as a workspace.
Yeah.
I couldn't hang out in here because I didn't have ear muffs and the earplugs weren't enough because they were cutting through metal.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm hanging out in the driveway
for a new door and window.
Sitting on a stool in my driveway outside because I couldn't be in my own house. But I wasn't watching their every movement. I wasn't questioning everything they were doing. I wasn't looking for them to make a mistake. And when I had to sign a document that said, we did all these wonderful things and we did it the right way. And I'm like, yep. I went through, I didn't even ask myself, did they do that the right way? I went, yep, check.
Let's see. Door opens nice. Yeah. No leaks. Okay. Yeah. Looking good here. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you.
Do I need to, how long do I need to wait before I put putty across the top of the window here? And they're like, what are you talking about? We did it outside. I'm like, no, inside. Oh, it was like that when we work. And it was like that before we put the new window in. And I said, but isn't that the point, putting the new window in? There was a gap. That's all I said. And he goes, yeah, why aren't we doing that? He looks over at the other guy and he goes, can you get do we have any putty left? He goes, yeah. I'm like, he's like, can you just get up there and take care of that right now? I didn't say you should have done this and you should have done that. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. No, it was a suggestion, and it was a. Smart,
I wanted to know if I have to do it. When do I do it?
Yeah.
Do I wait or do I do it soon or how long can it wait? It's a new window, so
It was like, truth. No. Truth did it for you.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bossy thing.
No, exactly, because truth is truth, and that's powerful. That's when you know the truth about something, and that resonated with the guy. So. Yeah. Nice.
And then they moved all my furniture for me. I didn't even ask them.
Yeah, and you were real concerned about that.
I was because
it's nothing for a couple of big guys to push it out of the way.
Yeah. Well, they're not supposed to move furniture. It's not part of their contract, but I didn't even ask him. He says, are you going to be able to move this yourself? I said, well, I moved it over there myself, but I had the carpet to slide it with. And I used my body weight, but pushing it back the other way. No, I'll have to wait till my friend comes over. He goes, well, we can take care of that for you before we leave. Just hang on. So they vacuumed, they cleaned up the floor, and then they pulled the carpet. There were 3 of them, and they moved everything. They even moved all my other furniture back in place, started carrying my appliances back in the kitchen. They didn't have to do that either.
That's awesome.
And the reason they were like that, not only because they're good and professional guys, it was because my attitude to them was different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I do work, if there's something there that could be damaged, it gets moved. As soon as we're done, we clean up and I move it back.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want to damage someone because the company's responsible for it. Not only they have to pay, but you just don't want to damage someone's property when you're working on their house.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you,
Sophie. As conscientious. Yeah, you're being conscientious, and you genuinely don't want to create any situation for your customer. That's great. Or whoever you're dealing with.
What's the purpose of what I just said? It's because when you're stuck and allowing yourself to feel stuck in those old ways and patterns, you can't change things and change the outcome and live a more full life. I know this now. At least I couldn't. Maybe you can, but shifting the energy, like Jazz says, and stopping the binder. Stop binding yourself. That's right, and becoming a slave to your own misfortunes and your own negativity.
Well, and you're kind of putting it out there too. You're just reiterating more negative energy. That's why being positive and being optimistic is really the best way. Wait until it's done and see what's happening and then go from there instead of putting the expectation out.
Right.
That's kind of the key to, don't assume things are going to be a certain way. Let it evolve. Let it evolve the way it's supposed to, the way it's meant to. And then, like you did, being curious about it. And saying, hey, well, what about that? And then that being true. See, there's many different ways to handle it.
Yeah.
Because negative's going to get you negative, positive will get you positive. And that's what you just proved.
I met a really stuck person today. I was telling you guys about it, and I'll shorten it. I met a person, you talk about being stuck. This woman was close to my age, maybe a little older, I think, walking down the sidewalk, and I was on my power scooter, and that thing goes 15 miles an hour, looks like a motorcycle. It's got all the horns, all the bells and whistles. It's beautiful blue color. But when I'm on a sidewalk, I try to go 5 miles an hour, and I try to manage my pace and be cautious around other people, dogs, people walking dogs, and so forth. And I was pacing myself behind this woman, and she just kept stopping abruptly. So I had to keep increasing the distance between us. And she was holding a phone and talking to somebody the whole time. She was ahead of me. And usually when I want to pass somebody or let them know that I'm there, I'll just do a courtesy bip, like bip, so that they can see. So she turns around and she puts her hands on her hips and she's clearly frustrated, having a frustrating day, having a frustrating conversation. She was just a frustrating person.
Oh my!
But anyway,
we're doing that, huh?
She backed up, to let me go by her. And as I'm going by her, she says, "Why aren't you driving that thing on the street where it belongs? It's a motorized vehicle." I'm like, "Well, because it's a handicap scooter, and they don't want us to be on the street because we can't do 25 miles an hour. We have to stay on the sidewalk, and we have to be courteous and follow the rules. And when we're, facing a crowd, then we can go on the street, but only momentarily to let the crowd go by or whatever." And she says, "You could have killed me. You could have run me over." And I said, "Well, why would I do that?" I was trying to be respectful, and that's why I went beep, so you would know I was here.
I would have said, "Do you want to ride?"
Then you could make the decision.
Maybe she needs a sucker.
That would have been really sarcastic because you can't put two people on there. So I said to her, that's why I just gave you a warning blast, just to be courteous, to let you know I was here behind you. I didn't want you to freak out if you all of a sudden saw me behind you. So she says, "Well, go on and pass." So I said, "Okay." So I passed, and she's on the phone with someone, and she goes, "This woman, this crazy lady driving a motorized vehicle was on the sidewalk, and she just tried to kill me. She just tried to run me down and run me over. I need to report her." So then I went into the
talk about being stuck.
The corner market. Yeah, I went into the corner market to pick up something, and they all know me there.
And there she is, right?
She followed me to the corner market to harass me.
She needs a hug
for driving a mobility scooter. Yeah, she needs a hug.
Here, darling, you need a hug.
Comes into the store and she's like ready to pick a fight, and I'm like, "Oh hell no, I'm not doing this." And the guys were trying to help me because they could see this look on her face, And they held the door open for me. I said, "Thanks, guys," and I got on my scooter. And she's in at the counter. "Do you know who that lady is? Do you know where she lives? I need to file a police report. She just tried to run me over." So whatever this woman's problem was, the police were actually there in the store because I know them, and they're the ones that helped me buy the right kind of scooter. So they're telling her, We don't think so. She's a really sweet person. She's a sweetheart, and she's really kind to everybody. And there's just no way that woman tried to
Yeah,
run you
tried
over.
to run you over.
That's
Yeah.
not her personality. She's not like that. And those are street legal. They're for handicapped people. And she can't walk long distances, so this is how she
And
gets
that's a
around.
perfect example of somebody who is stuck in a mindset.
That's what I'm
Everyone is
saying.
out together.
Wow.
You're responsible for her not being able to walk on the sidewalk without being accosted in some way. And so that's her reality. But
That's
what you
her
did is you
reality.
showed her what your reality was, and that was, I'm just
kindness.
doing my thing, and I beeped and to let you know, and I made it very clear as to my intentions, and you know that's on them.
Now, the way I used to be in my stuck unconscious reality was I would have gotten her. I would have had words with this person. And I just was like, no, she's got some issues. And so I need to let this go. The police were already handling it because they know me. They're like trying to explain to her that these are legal devices and we keep them on low settings when we're on sidewalks, you know, and they're not safe to put on the road. They're not like a 20, they don't go 25. They're not gas powered, you know. But anyway, I'm just using it as an example of the degree to which one can become stuck in their ways well into their 70s, 80s, and 90s. Some of them are so in bed with their original, they never found a way out of that phase.
Yeah, that'll carry on even after life.
They have nothing. They don't have a hobby. They don't have any sports. They don't have any activities. They just watch TV or they listen to music. But they feed their minds with all kinds of crap, or they're hooked on the news and they're couch potatoes. And they sit there and waste away into nothingness. And they'll say, well, it's my health. Well, you're sitting there smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. You're knocking down 2 bottles of wine.
Down in some gin.
You're down in some gin and you're munching on cookies and you're eating chocolate bars.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
So if you can't get up out of the chair, there's got to be a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
You can't breathe. That's because you're. There's just different things. I'm not saying that any of these things are bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if overindulgences in certain things can make you physically very sick and your mindset even
moderation. Yeah.
So she lives a miserable life because she has never been able to break free and discover who she is. She was probably a mother, probably, has grandchildren. That was her life.
Yeah.
And as so many of the people that I meet in my age group and older, they've lived their lives through others by service to the family and never developed themselves as an individual.
Yeah.
So they never had to ask the question.
Not allowing themselves. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so that's why a lot of people feel stuck. It's because they're giving themselves over to something that they feel is their mission. That was her purpose, to be a mom,
and you gotta want to be unstuck. You gotta want things to be different, but you gotta have the courage and the strength to do the things that gets you out of that routine and that rut. And that's why it's so difficult. But hey, when you do and you come out on the other side, you feel amazing. You feel 10 feet tall. You feel supported. You feel loved. And not just from yourself, but the whole universe will support you as well. Let's see what Jasmine's got to say. I'm okay now with people calling me a villain. I'm not as invested in defending myself against people who are listening to respond and not listening to understand.
Yeah, right on.
Ooh, that just hit home right there, girl. That's a good statement. Good. I'm glad you're okay with that. Yeah.
And right on with Lucky. Sometimes the most compassionate act is just let people vent. Although smiling just makes them angry. I smiled at her and said, have a nice day.
Because they don't get the reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Brian talks about all the time. What kind of reaction do you want me to give you, right, Brian?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best reaction is not giving any reaction at all.
Yeah. I think
sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
Is life really that bad for you? Is life really that stucky for you? Yeah, yeah. We've all been there though. I've felt it
Yeah.
too. I've felt it many, many
Yeah.
times. I
Yeah.
just don't feel it like that anymore. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to live in that space. It takes up too much energy, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Second, I don't like the way I feel when I feel stuck.
Hmm.
And third, I can do something about it. And I'm gonna, and I do. And
Right.
it's that simple. I know this stuff sounds kind of like simplistic, but it really is. It's as
But
easy or as hard as you want to make it. That's my point.
we're good friends. We put this program on together. We collaborate on material. We collaborate on what we want to talk about. We collaborate on art projects together. We have a trust, a bond, a relationship. We trust each other, but we also trust our own selves now.
We've earned it.
We now trust our instincts.
Mm-hmm.
When spirit comes in, we don't question it anymore. We're
Nope.
not doing the Ghostbusters debunking anymore. We're accepting spirit. We're accepting.
We know that there's more to this corporeal life,
right,
than just the physical aspect.
and I'm more accepting of the concept of the difference between alien beings, extraterrestrials, and cosmic beings, and earthbound beings. And so I've learned more. I've opened up so much. But if you don't have the trust in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you've allowed yourself to live through what others people's perspectives on you would be, and you're just living to appease everybody else all the time, it's not too late to change. It's never too late, folks.
Yeah.
I'm 65,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been going through this transformation for 5 to 7 years now, and it's been long like Donkey Kong the past 3 years. But my life is completely different now. Completely.
Well, even since we started the show in 2020.
Yeah, I evolved
Okay.
through different phases.
We are completely different. You, me, Brian, Sophia, the Adorables, Jasmine and Nick.
Yeah.
Everyone that's ever been on the show with us, we're all different now. We're different people. But and we've shared that process over time.
Right.
And you are going to evolve and change when you accept things, and when you have new routines and new beliefs and new systems coming in. It's online. You're just firing off of the new stuff. And it's exciting. Sometimes it's really exciting. And it can be a little scary.
Yep.
It could be a little scary. But you're right. The most important thing is being honest with yourself, knowing what the truth is, because the truth stands on its own, and having love in your heart, just like you did with the way you treated that lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I recognize you're having your stuckness and your thing that you're going through, but that's not going to break my stride in my day. It's not going to make or break me in any way, because I'm not going to allow it. And that's where your power is. And that's what people don't get is, know your power, know your worth, and have it for yourself, because no one else can do it for you, and they won't have it for you.
Well, I know, Brian, you're going to probably agree with this because you're a healer.
We're all healers here.
We're all healers, but Brian, I know he's going to understand this. Sometimes it's hard to know how to love other people. And so sometimes I used to ask myself, what is love anyway, And I used to say things like, I wish I could feel that way. Or I would just love it if somebody would do this for me. And there were just different things that I used in my mind to define what I considered love to be. But it wasn't until I asked myself, if those are the things that I do to show love to other people, and they're the kinds of things that I want to feel, and I think that's what love is, then how do I get other people to love me the way I want to be loved? And the bottom line is, I got to love me the way I want to be loved.
Your job is to love you first.
I want to love me to be.
When you love you, others will love you as well.
Right, but then you also learn how to love them back in a different way.
Well, and love are the ties that bind you.
Yeah.
So when you have love for yourself and others, that binds you together. Yeah.
That might sound narcissistic to some people, but Brian, wouldn't you say that some people that you work on for healing, and Jazz and Nick and Sophia, you all are Reiki healer masters, teachers, isn't it much more conducive or more successful, a healing process with those people when they themselves are allowing you to do that with them, but they're accepting and loving themselves too for even having you do the treatment and accepting it? Acceptance is everything. Resistance won't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
That's so true. I mean,
you're setting the example.
Yeah, it's their self-love for themselves. That's they're willing to allow you to help them heal.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, you really, I mean, you can
like,
put
Teresa,
out
what are you doing these days? Like, what are you doing to be how you are now? What are you taking something? Are you eating something different? What are you doing that makes you so different?
There's a lot of different things. I have changed my eating patterns. Definitely changed the way I eat. I take more care of my physical body than I used to. That's true.
Oh, you have love for yourself now. You have love in your heart.
Get my nails done at least twice a month. I get a foot spa at least once a month, and I bought my own spa to set my feet in.
So you're living the life you're meant to live at this point in your life.
Yeah.
You've actually matched it. Now you're matching it, and you're there.
Better sleep. I have a better bed.
Hey, a year ago, you were in a whole different place.
Yeah.
A whole different place.
Well, I was living other people's expectations of who and what I should be doing and how I should be doing. No, I'm following my passions, people, and I'm doing things that bring me pleasure. I'm still helping others. I'm still in service to spirit and the universe. I'm still participating in this program. I'm available to anyone who needs to chat, providing it's not a self-pity party or it's
Don't be that lady from the scooter.
Right. Don't be the lady from the scooter lady. But so I mean, I have a reason to get up every morning. I have a purpose in my life, more than one purpose, and I'm in love with myself more so than I've ever been. And that might sound a little crazy to some people.
It's not.
Or narcissistic, but it's not that kind of love. It's an appreciation. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think it's amazing. No, your transformation has been quite the thing to witness.
I hug myself.
I
wake up in the morning. I
don't think it's strange at all.
I'm waiting for the coffee, and I go like this. You're a good person. And
I go by the mirror, and I go, "You look marvelous."
Yeah. Well, once in a while, just for kicks, I'll bring in a different version of myself from another dimension, and her name is Phyla. And I'll look in the mirror. I'll look in the mirror and Phyla, and I'll say, "Hey, Phyla," and she'll go, "Hi, what's up?"
She's so cool.
Yeah, she's so loving and so cool, and she's so saucy. And it was a lifetime I had a long time ago, and it's like, look at me now.
Confident.
I like her. Very full of wisdom, and so I'll talk to different versions of the self once in a while. They'll go, "You're goddamn schizophrenic, aren't you?" No, you have multiple personality. No, I'm just reconnecting with memories, even though they're distant and bits and fragmented. They're a persona that I had. They're attributes that I've had, and I remember
you're
them.
The higher version of yourself right now.
I'm shown that in dreams.
Of any lifetime. Yeah, you now sitting there are the highest version of yourself ever.
So you asked me, and as a psychic medium, I could tell you this. I can bring in those different aspects. I can bring in ancestors. I can talk with and communicate with people who have been through this life's journey here, have had similar situations, and I can get counsel and advice and thoughts from them. And they're all part of me. They're all a reflection of me, but they're reminding you of the things that are important or the things that didn't work, and you don't want to repeat that mistake in this lifetime. So You get a lot of wisdom and a lot of encouragement and a lot of love and support, gratitude and appreciation from your ancestors and from the guides. Look at how many guides Sophia has. They fill her. They have given
you
her
evolved. You've evolved to that stage, and a lot of
Right.
people are not even familiar with past lifetimes, let alone talking to your higher self every day.
Well, yeah.
So that says a lot about your growth.
I mean, it's kind of weird because, like, I don't have a lot of current knowledge or background with working with herbs or planting them, but she does, and boy, has she given me some tips. Okay, so the same way Brian Barnett came in 5 years ago and was helping me with problems I was having in my garden, and gave me the plans. And had sent me the plan. So it's kind of like you learn from, if you open yourself to spirit and you say anything's possible. I don't believe it's a psychological condition. It's a state of consciousness.
Yeah.
It's a frequency vibration that
you
I
just
have.
happen to be tuned in. You're tuned into it. Yep.
And they help me.
Yes,
and I'm
they
open
do.
to it. Okay, so why not? Why not be open to new things, to new ideas, new experiences? Brian has
embrace
it. He's been getting downloads, and he's been connecting to spirit in this past couple years. And he's been doing some experimentation with Trina. That's been opening him up, and he's connecting more. And so I'm not saying that that's the way you have to live life. No. I'm just saying that you asked me what's making me so happy, what's helping me to love myself, because I'm in touch with all facets of myself. I truly believe we're multidimensional beings.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're having multidimensional experiences.
We are.
And we can telepathically connect with other aspects of ourself, other reflections of our personalities, to help give us guidance and direction for where we need to do to stay on our path. And my purpose is to love unconditionally now myself and others, and to spread that light and that love to as many people as I can. And if we all could just do it, then I'm sure you've heard this, if more people that do it, the more the world around you transforms as well. And you start seeing things in a more healthy, positive way.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, when you can transform and see the world in a more positive way, even though all these crazy things are happening, the more of us that do it, the higher the energy.
Your vibration. Yep.
Yeah. And then law of attraction,
It is. Yeah. Law of one.
Anyway.
Cool. Well, guys, we're getting to the end of the show. Sorry about all the technical stuff. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll have to figure it out. It's kind of frustrating, but nonetheless, we got through the show. Thanks for holding it together, Teresa and Brian. Brian, I'll give you final thoughts, and then Teresa, and then I have a automatic writing from my higher self that I'd like to share with everyone, a short synopsis of what's going on. But Brian, your final thoughts?
So, you feel like you're stuck in a rut. Most likely you have to change your mindset. That is the hardest thing hardest thing that you'll do is retraining your thought process. Because when you keep thinking about something in the same way over and over again, that there in itself is getting stuck. It's only when you start looking at things from different perspectives, from a different thought process, that you're able to find the solution to whatever's keeping you stuck or whatever the problem is. About love, once I truly learned about self-love and loved myself, to me, it was never about who loved me as much as who I loved. And once I started doing that, then one day I realized, wow, all that love that I was putting out here to these people, not expecting anything back, guess what? Their love is coming back to me now. And I did it without, I didn't say, well, I want to love that person because I want them to love me. I just loved because of who they were.
Yep.
So if you just put it out there and not expect anything in return, guarantee it's going to come back to you tenfold.
Yeah.
And you
That's
just
as
are
far as-
love, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are love. You
Oh,
are
thank you.
authentic. Yeah, it's true. You really truly are. And I
Thank
and I think that now you have that love for yourself. I think
Yeah.
in a lot of ways you were putting it out there because that was who you are, but you weren't receiving it. Once you knew who you were and you accepted it within yourself, that's
Mhm.
when things came around for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Mhm.
like one of my favorite songs by Shinedown. And the name of the song is How Did You Love? So
Mm.
basically, when you die, you're going to be judged on how did you love in this lifetime.
And you judge yourself. No one's judging you but
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Did you love conditionally or did you love unconditionally?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Did you
tomorrow,
love at all?
exactly. So last thing, tomorrow night, Lucky
Uh-huh.
Stone, 888.
Okay.
We're doing, oh, what is it in the subconscious mind that creates the matrix that we live in? How does our subconscious create our reality?
Your own personal
So,
universe.
so
Yeah.
it should
Yeah.
be a pretty interesting discussion.
Sounds like it. Yep. Like what you guys are doing. So cool. Yeah. We'll catch that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Teresa, your final thoughts?
I think I pretty much just gave them. I don't want to hold it up any further. And thanks, Jojo, for that reminder. I wasn't calling myself a narcissist, but yeah, it's spells. Words are spells. That's true. How you talk about yourself, how you introduce yourself, how you think about yourself. That's what I meant when I said when you sit down and you go, what do I love about this person, and how do I want to be loved, and how do I want to be remembered, and how do I want to be seen? And it's what I want, not what other people want. What do I feel is in my best interest? What serves my purpose? And another thing that I'm doing is a lot of work in the spirit realm. I'm doing a lot of work with spirits, and
Yep.
I'm feeling very appreciated and enjoyed by them too. So
You have great purpose now.
I think
You serve the light.
once you find a good sense of purpose
Mhm.
for yourself, if you're still asking yourself what the hell am I doing, and you're 35, 40, 45, or even in your 50s, and you're like, what's left? I raised my kids, they're out the door. My husband's passed away, or my wife has passed away. What do I do with myself now?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Whatever.
Find your bliss.
Find your bliss,
Find something that makes you happy. It's really simple.
Something that makes you happy. And if sitting there makes you happy, well, then that's what makes you happy.
Yeah. Yep.
But just remember, if you're ever feeling depressed and like, what's going on? Well, you said you were happy doing that. Evidently you're not. So, so find what makes you feel good. Hang out with the people that bring out the best in you and make you feel good. Make you feel, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can make you
Surround
feel.
people, like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Surround yourself. Have that love and support from others.
Have a support system in place. And I love these guys from Indiana. They do.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
have Heather and Jim in the shop. They
They're
have
amazing.
Chesterfield if they want. They have
Really good people.
other groups, people that they've met and made friends with and bonds with.
Yep.
And
It's an honor to know them.
yeah, it is. And we're starting to develop contacts with people here too. So I tell you, it's just best thing you can do is follow your heart and always ask yourself, because you deserve this. You deserve to ask yourself, what will please me? What makes me happy? What makes me want to get up in the morning? Not what happened to me when I was 5, or what happened to me when I was 15, or how certain people in my family treated me or didn't treat me. It's not about everybody else and what they thought or what they did or how they made you feel. That was then. This is now. So what are you going to do to propel yourself forward and to make yourself happy? Follow your bliss. And just enjoy life. Life's too short to be grumpy all the time. Pissed once in a while? Yeah, I get pissed. Who doesn't? It's how
Yep.
you respond to that pissiness and how long you hold on to it. You know, you get ticked off, fine. Now release it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold on to it. Don't
Let it
hold
go.
grudges. Let it
Mm-hmm.
go and go with your flow. Go with your flow. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you can't be in service to others, because you'll find you might want to do more service work. And that's great. But if for those of you who believe in a higher power, a creator, a God of some type, you know, you've heard the expression, that's all they want for you is your happiness and your joy.
Mm.
And the thing is, though, you're still going to learn the lessons along the way, as tough as it might be. Whew, boy, have there been some tough times. I thought I wasn't going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mindset.
Yeah.
And let yourself experiment, take risks, and fall on your face once in a while. Go ahead. It's okay. Fall on your face, fail, because at least you know what didn't work.
Yeah.
And then you can keep trying other things and make it creative, make it fun. But don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to call it a failure, because you know what? I wasn't cut out to be a football player. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not mechanically inclined. I'm artistic. I'm creative with gardening, you know, and I like music, but I know I'm not a machine person. I can hold a hammer. I could do certain things, but I can't do a lot of things. I'm
But
not
what can you
mechanically
do?
I'm
You
not
just,
mechanically inclined.
yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
what can
more
I
about
do?
what you can do.
Yes.
What's good about it? What's right
Yes.
about it? What can you do? Not what you can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you admit those things and admit, okay, my life is never going to go smooth if I try to be an auto mechanic. I'm not an auto mechanic. I'm not a
Yeah.
nurse and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. But there are things that I have learned and things that I can apply in life and things that I can do and be a valuable contribution that I enjoy doing. Some things I'll never go back to because I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
going to go back to it just because you all feel that mom and dad helped me pay for a college education and I threw it all away because I decided to do something different. Hello. I worked like hell to make it through university. It wasn't my parents that paid for the whole thing. I worked like hell. And
Yeah.
I worked on those grades and I went an extra year and I got a degree. Okay. And I had a wonderful career, but now I have something else.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to be the same forever?
Yeah.
Don't let
Yep.
somebody put you in a box. Think outside the box and don't be fitting yourself into any
Don't
box that
become the
anybody else.
box.
Right. Don't become the box other people want to fit you in, or that you in your own mind were fitting yourself into. And oh, by
Be
the
true,
way,
be authentic, be yourself.
Lori asked me what things are you doing. She started it first, then she got me hooked on it, and a lot with the dream, examining the subconscious, not the type of dreaming that I was doing when I was practicing different abilities like astro traveling and things like that, or lucid dreams with other people. This is analyzing the meaning of my own dreams and what's being reflected back to me in my
Structure of the
subconscious.
self.
The
It's
structure
your
of the
structure.
self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Really appreciate that. So I asked myself, I like to do a lot of automatic writing and I always do a lot of things within myself. And I wrote this the other day and I thought it was really good to share. It's very short, but it's packed with some good stuff. So here are my final thoughts for today's topic: when your life feels stuck. Structural integrity is the cornerstone of truth. When we know the truth and we trust it, we understand our current situation fully. Test your truth. Does it feel right or does it feel off? We innately know two things as a human being, and that is trust and love. They both go hand in hand. When we don't trust ourselves, we feel stuck, and feeling stuck keeps us in a place of false beliefs. We either trust or we don't. Love is the unconditional support we receive, and to deny this is to remain stuck from our current situation. Resisting change is a barrier, a roadblock to something better, but beliefs are the catalyst for every experience we create. Suffice it to say, without love in our hearts and trust in our plan, life becomes a paradox. Reach for the truth and be the truthful, especially with yourself. Bridge the gap using love and know you at your very core, you are both. You have simply forgotten. And when you remember, alignment will follow. There you
And
go.
Lori, what was
Yes.
the source of that download?
That was the higher self. That was the highest part of myself.
Beautifully said. Well
Hmm?
said.
Awesome. Glad you liked it.
Yeah. The closer you get to the other aspects of the self, especially the oversoul or the higher self,
Exactly.
the more you get. That was pure and from the heart. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lori.
most definitely. All right, everybody. Well, hope
Catch
hope-
Robert's program
Yep.
tomorrow.
Hope
Yeah.
you all have a good week. I did want to mention this real quick. My sister reminded me it's National Sibling Day today. So say hi to your siblings, send some love their way, send them an old photo. My sister did this for me today.
Oh, it was
and
a cool photo.
Really, really cool. So yeah. Say, send some love to that sibling. And sometimes they know you better than you know yourself. It's pretty amazing. All right, everybody, have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. Find your bliss. Get unstuck. Do what makes you happy. And we'll see you next time. We'll have the final episode of the human curriculum.
Yeah.
And this is going to be about love. It's about bringing all of this together and why we do all this. So I'm looking forward to it. And that'll end the series for the human curriculum. But until then, peace out and love to everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you greatly. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you out there in Happy Land.
Have a safe, happy, and wonderful weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care. We'll see you next
All
week.
right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye,
Much love.
y'all.